Today's lesson, we'll be talking about section 2.2, solving one-step equations with addition, subtraction, and multiplication and division. So, solving an equation using addition or subtraction, remember we're always looking for what is being done to our variable, and we want to undo it with the opposite operation. So if something is being added to your variable, we must undo it using the opposite operation, which is subtraction. So likewise, if we have subtraction, we need to undo it using addition. So looking at our first example, n plus 8 equals negative 30, since you are adding 8 to both sides, okay, I need to be able to undo that using subtraction. Now you subtract the same number to both sides, but make sure that you're using the same number that is being done to your variable, because you want to be able to kind of reduce it away so it's no longer there. So if I did subtract 7, that wouldn't work because 8 minus 7 gives me 1, so I haven't fully taken everything away from n. So I need to subtract 8 to both sides, and in doing so, n plus 8 minus 8, the 8 minus 8 cancel each other out, give you 0, so you're left with n, and then negative 30 minus 8, that's the same thing as negative 30 plus negative 8, would give you negative 38. The next one, you have d minus 13 equals 40. So since you're subtracting 13, you need to add, which is the opposite of subtraction. So I add the same number to both sides. I choose to add 13 to both sides to undo negative 13. So d minus 13 plus 13 leaves me with d, because d, or negative 13 plus 13 is 0. Then on the other side, 40 plus 13 gives me 53. Okay, now the bottom left, you have x plus a negative 3 equals 15. Okay, here, negative 3, or plus a negative 3, is the same thing as minus 3. So if it's negative, I'll add 3 to both sides. Okay, so if it was positive, like a 3 plus x, that's still positive 3, even though we're not looking at the positive sign, or 3 minus x. 3 is still positive, so I want to subtract. So here it's negative, so I need to add. So then adding 3 to both sides, negative 3 plus 3 gives me 0, leaves you with x. So 15 plus 3 gives me 18. Here, if I have a double negative of a number to a variable, remember, double negative makes everything positive. Okay? So then, now, it's the same thing as saying h plus 2. So then, since it's positive, I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. So then, 2 minus 2 makes 0, so I'm left with h, which equals negative 28, because negative 26 minus 2 is negative 28. Okay? Now for multiplication. So here, if I am multiplying a number to both sides, you can either use division or you can use multiplication, which would end up being the same thing. Okay? So here, I can undo multiplication by dividing. So negative 4y equals 52, I can divide both sides by negative 4. So negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, so you're left with 1y. And 52 divided by negative 4 is negative 13. On the right side of that, if you have a fraction, I can still divide both sides by 5/6. 5/6 divided by 5/6 is 1, so you're left with 1x. Now here, if I'm dividing a fraction, I need to actually do something called multiplying by the reciprocal, which is introduced in the bottom part of this table. So I'm going to multiply this 100 over 1 by the reciprocal, which is the flip. So if I have A over B, the reciprocal is B over A. Okay, so then 6 over 5. Now, doing a little reducing, 100 divided by 5 is actually 20 over 1, so multiplying across gives me 120 over 1, which is the same thing as 120. Okay, now notice in the bottom part of this table they have the same equations. But here, you're going to use multiplication to help you solve instead. So using this concept of multiplying by the reciprocal of negative 4 over 1 is actually 1 over negative 4. So I do that to both sides. So then that gives me negative 4y over negative 4, which is 1. So I get y. And then multiplying across here gives me 52 divided by negative 4. And 52 divided by negative 4, which we've shown up here, is going to be negative 13. Okay? Same thing with the other example. Instead of dividing by 5/6, I can multiply by the reciprocal of 6/5. Which is what we did up here. So that would give me 30x over 30, which is just x. And then do a little cross canceling. Gives me 120 over 1, which is 120. And that's how you solve one-step equations using addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Okay, have fun.